Hello. Today we are talking about grocery saving tips that actually work. Guys, with inflation, grocery prices are going through the roof. But guess what? This week I paid the lowest price in 20 years on boneless, skinless chicken and avocados. Yes, I have not seen those prices in 20 years, and I stocked up, which is tip number one. When things go on sale, stock up. I'm not talking about buying in bulk. I am talking about going and, buying in bulk is where you go to Costco or Sam's or whatever, and you get the huge 25-pound bags of oatmeal or whatever. As a matter of fact, I got one sitting right here that I bought during that thing going around because I was like, I want to make sure we don't run out. But otherwise, I don't buy huge containers of flour and oatmeal. I never hardly buy 20 pounds of flour or 20 pounds of sugar. I am not a bakery. And even when I had 5 kids at home, I still didn't buy that way. Why? Because they're hard to handle and I could get it cheaper buying regular size packages on sale. So that's tip number one, is buy when it's on sale and stock up as much as you can when it is the lowest prices. Tomorrow morning, I am heading to the grocery store, and this is my next tip. Got to do what you got to do to get those good deals. They are having a special at my store tomorrow with boneless, skinless chicken tenders for 97 cents a pound. I can't believe it. Bacon for $2 a pound. You better believe I'm getting up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and my cute little booty is going to be down at the grocery store buying those things. Why? This is why I don't do no spend January. I do not believe you should do no spend January. I think that's the biggest waste of money, actually, believe it or not, because there are so many stinking good deals in January. And so tomorrow I'm going to get down there and I'm going to get that meat. I'm going to bring it home. Our kitchen is being torn apart on Monday. Yes, Monday. So I'm not going to have a kitchen for probably 5 to 6 months. And so I'm going to get it all cooked up tomorrow in the freezer, and then I can just pull it out and we can warm it up in the microwave, and I will have meals ready to go. And it will cost us $2 a meal instead of going out to eat for $25, $30, $40 a meal. The next one is don't let your kids leave leftovers. Guys, if your kids are leaving milk in their cereal bowls, you are putting too much milk in. Make them drink the milk in the cereal bowls. If they don't like it, then you need to put less milk in. But these tips here, they are in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. And if you are gluten-free, dairy-free, our gluten-free, dairy-free edition also. This tip right here, volume 1. Why? Because this is a huge waste of money, is when you literally throw food down the toilet. Or not the toilet, down the drain. Guys, you might as well just be throwing money down the toilet. Our cookbooks right now are 35% off for the print books and 50% off for all of our digital products. So go check these out in the description below. The next one is do smaller servings, especially for kids. Kids will tell you if they are eating too much food by leaving it on the plate. What is a good rule of thumb? So when they're toddlers, I usually give a tablespoon of each item for them to try and taste. Then when they're about 3 to 5, 6, 7, 3 to 7, somewhere around there, I do 2 tablespoons of each item for them to eat. And then after about age 7, they can start telling you how hungry they are. And then you can put those portions on there. Now, if they're hungry right after dinner, then they need to be eating more at dinner. Okay. So they need to be eating more at dinner. And what I would do is serve dessert with dinner. Like if you have brownies or cookies or whatever, serve it like they did in the old days with your dinner. And then the meal is complete. And then if they want a really light snack before bed or something, that's fine. Next is a big one, but oh my goodness, it is still, even with the crazy high inflated prices now, we still see lines and lines and lines of cars at the fast food places. I know the restaurants are full. Mike and I go out to eat for date night about 3 times a month now. Otherwise, we have totally stopped eating out. Why? It is a huge waste of money. Why spend $40 on one meal for a family of 4 when that could be your entire week's worth of groceries? Yes, you can feed your entire family for $40 even now. So stop eating out. Get super easy recipes like in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys. I'm not kidding. You spend more time sitting in the drive-through and eating at the fast food restaurants than you will cooking and cleaning up using our recipes. I have a chronic illness. I spend 15 to 20 minutes cooking dinner every night. Why? Because I'm tired and I don't have time to do it. So find quick and easy meals. We have thousands of free recipes on our website at livingonadime.com. You can go check them out. Thousands and thousands of cheap, easy meals that you can do quick. You don't have to do a day-long freezer cooking or 2-day-long freezer cooking. You don't have to do any of that. You can use the tips in our books and you can get in and out of the kitchen quick. Sorry, I've got a cold. The next thing is don't allow your kids and you stop guzzling sodas, juice, and milk. Your kids do not need milk or juice in their sippy cups or their cups all the time. You do not need to be drinking juice or milk or coffee all the time. Drink water. Most people do not drink enough water as it is. Those calories, we wonder why people are obese. I guarantee you the majority of Americans who are overweight and fat would lose 20 pounds if they, yes, I'm talking about you over there in the side tracks here. Just kidding. Mike's giving me funny looks. The majority of people who are fat will lose 20 pounds just cutting out the sodas and milk and juice. The vegetable and the fruit smoothie bottle stuff. Guys, those are super high in calories. Smoothies are really high in calories. You would lose weight if you would just stop drinking all of that stuff. So cut out the excess drinks and start drinking just water. And no, you don't need bottled water or anything like that. I get it. If you live in an area where you have really bad water, I have lived there in Texas and Kansas. I know what really bad sulfur water tastes like. You know, Mike just took the bottles or empty bottles and took them into his work that had a filter, and they were more than happy to let us just fill up there. Of course, ask, but they had no problem with that. So you don't need bottled water. Stop wasting your money on bottled water. Next is watch things like syrup and cinnamon and sugar. Do you allow your kids, or do you just guzzle a whole lot of syrup on your plate and then your pancakes or waffles or whatever are just swimming in syrup and you have all this huge pool of syrup left after you've eaten? Stop doing that. You need to start envisioning throwing dollar bills away when you throw food in the trash or down the garbage disposal. You have to start envisioning this as dollar bills. If you start doing that, you will start saving so much money on your grocery bill. I guarantee you, you will save probably close to 50% on your grocery bill if you would just stop throwing food away. The next tip is use small plates or glasses for everyone. Yes, I know, but most plates are 10 inches now. You do not need 10-inch plates to eat your meal. Get a smaller meal or a smaller plate, especially if you are trying to lose weight. With kids, kids do not need a big plate. Parents overfill those large plates of food for their kids when they don't need to. Give them a smaller plate, and then you will realize how much food you're actually putting on there. Next, put your drinks and your juices and your syrups and your honeys in easy to pour containers. What do I mean? Take and put your milk into a smaller pitcher instead of giving your 7-8-year-old that huge gallon of milk to try and pour on their cereal. Put it in a smaller pitcher so that it's easier for them to pour and they have more control. That way you're not wasting money on excess milk, excess syrup, excess honey, cinnamon and sugar on toast, whatever. Put it in a used spice container, empty used spice container, with the shaky top. Put it on that so that then you are not wasting so much food. Next, excuse me. Don't automatically throw out uneaten food. Just because there is food left on the plate does not mean that you have to throw it out. This is like a huge money waster. People will fill foods on the plate and then they just turn around and throw it away. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Why are you doing that? So if your kids have leftover food, save it for their lunch or your lunch. If they're being stubborn and they're just not wanting to eat it, then save it and they can have it the next meal. And if they still don't want it, they can have it the next meal. Listen, you are in charge here, not your kids. Okay? I know kids are picky eaters and I give allowances for that. I say, when all my kids were picky eaters and all I said was, that's fine if you don't like it, but you need to at least take one bite and try it. And when I knew they didn't like something, I would put a smaller amount of green beans, let's say, and more carrots or whatever. And so it's fine if people don't like, or if kids don't like foods, but if they're leaving massive amounts of food on the plate, you need to stop giving them so much and you need to stop allowing them to control everything they're eating. I mean, you're the one paying for the food here. We're not going to be having Eggo waffles every morning when a bowl of oatmeal will do the same thing. So remember that you are the one in charge. And then the next one is find out how much your glasses and your cups and your plates actually hold. Most cups now will hold 12 ounces, which is 1.5 cups of juice or milk or whatever, when the serving size is anywhere from a half a cup, which is 4 ounces, to a cup, which is 8 ounces. So most people are getting in their regular cups now 12 ounces, like this, my teacup right here. This is a 12-ounce teacup. So if I were to fill this with milk, this would be 1.5 servings of milk, not just one. Sorry. So make sure you know your serving sizes and know your portions and know how much food you are giving your kids and your family. Mike, send me the comments and questions that we have. If you guys have questions and comments, please post them in the description and Mike is going to send them to me and I'm going to start answering your questions because I know grocery prices are going up. But like I said, I paid the lowest prices that I've had in 20 years on several items this week. I couldn't believe it. They were such stinking good deals, and I'm going tomorrow. So anyway, all right. Did Mike get me the questions? Let's see.
A bunch of people are saying that they didn't get a notification from YouTube.
Nobody got a notification from YouTube. Oh no. So we're going to have a lot of people watching this later. That's totally fine. All right. We got the questions here. And actually, let me do my outro for my editor. Go watch this video next, and we will see you guys next time. Okay, now we're going to take your questions.
Does it matter that this is here?
So, nope, we are editing our long videos. We've had a lot of people complaining. Well, not a lot. We've had some people complaining that they don't like the long videos. So we're taking those and cutting them down into shorter videos for those people who want shorter videos. So if you guys see some, that's why you're like, I thought I already saw this. Well, that's why we're doing it that way. All right, Josephine, any suggestions on how to stop drinking sodas? Yes, just stop it. Stop it, stop, stop it.
I was thinking of the Bob Newhart video.
I know, just stop it. Okay, really, you need to just stop it. It is a huge waste of money. It's a huge cost. I cannot believe it was $7 for 12 cans of soda the other day. And soda is always gone at our store. And I'm like, you people are griping about your grocery bill and your cart is filled with soda. All right, what can you do instead? Can you drink tea? Can you drink coffee? Those are two caffeinated substances that you could get. Can you get the flavored drink mixes and pour those into some water to start weaning yourself off of it? Now, I probably, if you're drinking, 5 to 10 sodas a day, it would probably be fairly hard to just cut it right off the bat. So what I would do is go in and start weaning yourself off. Cut back, let's say you drink 8 sodas a day, a soda an hour. Put your 8 sodas in the refrigerator. The next day you put 7 sodas in the refrigerator. So instead of going an hour, you go an hour and 15 minutes and then drink the next one. And then the next day do 6 sodas, and then you're going to go an hour and a half instead of an hour. And so just start weaning yourself off, and then allow yourself 1 soda a day as a treat. And then you will probably get to the point where you won't want to be drinking it at all. And of course, when it's on sale, stock up. We like sodas just like everyone else, but I don't have the sodas in the pantry for the boys to just drink whatever they want. I have it downstairs in the stockpile room, so it's hard for them to come down and get it. They have to work to come get the soda, but they're only allowed 1 soda a day, but not every day. So they can have a soda, but we don't have one every single day. It's 2 or 3 times a week or 2 times a week or something like that. And then I buy them when they're on sale. Usually it's 4 for $12 is the deal that I have been seeing right now. And we stock up then. So that's how you can do it. Also is to start saving money. And that doesn't give you permission to just drink all you want. Start cutting back with that. Robin says, I got a Brita on my faucet in my kitchen. My bottled water is for emergencies only. Yeah, bottled water is the biggest. I would say bottled water is the number one scam that Americans have fallen for. The number one grocery scam that Americans have fallen for. And our Dining on a Dime cookbook, they didn't have bottled water like they did before. When we wrote the cookbook 25 years ago, it was mostly sodas and juice and milk. That was the big problem. And so now the bottled water is a big thing. And you know what? People are just water snobs, and you need to get over it. I'm sorry. There are some places that have really bad water. I have lived in Texas and Kansas where the water smelled and tasted like rotten eggs. I get it. But there are other alternatives, like getting a filter, getting water from in town. Like we lived out of town on one of the places. The other place we lived in town, so we just went at another. Mike's work had better water, so they let him just fill up there out of the faucet there. So look for alternatives and other ways for you to drink more water. Okay, guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are 35% off right now for our New Year's sale, Volume 1, Volume 2, and our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. They are all on sale for 35% off right now, guys. New Year's sale, if you got that Christmas money and you've been waiting, now's the time to get it. We also have our undated planners in stock. Undated planners. These are not on sale, but these are made in the USA, 400 pages almost, and every single day has its own day. And we did it undated because people were wanting to buy them all year round, so we did that to help you save money. So if you're watching this video in July and you want to get our planners, you can just start at the beginning and work your way back. Barbara says, I love how real and practical this family is. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Barbara, those are great deals on chicken and bacon. Yes, they are. Wanda, wow, I haven't seen prices that low in years. Yes, it has been more than 20 years since I have gotten an avocado for 25 cents. And it has been more than 20 years since I have seen boneless, skinless chicken breast for 97 cents a pound. And these are the cheapest grocery prices. I mean, my grocery bill actually now is going down. It's not going up. It's actually going down. So, Esther, my problem is that I get to the stores and they don't have the items they show in the ad. And then I get frustrated because sometimes I've had to make a trip. They're not always willing to give me a rain check. Yes, that is a problem you're going to have. You might have. I have made several trips to the store to get good deals on chicken and meat. And people say, why do you always share your meat deals? Well, because meat is the biggest place that you can save on your grocery bill after cutting out all the convenience foods. You know, your pre-cut fruits and vegetables, your pre-made cakes and pastries and all those kinds of things, those are up there. The chips, the prepackaged lunch sizable things of chips and drink boxes for lunches and the little fruit snacks for lunches and the little apple sauces and all those for lunches. All of those are the number one highest expense in grocery bills. Then the number two is meat. And so, yes, there will be times, but you have to calculate it here. Okay, so let me get my calculator out here. Let's say boneless, skinless chicken breast is $3 a pound right now, okay? And let's say we go through, we eat a lot of chicken. That's pretty much all we eat. Well, not all, but we eat a lot of chicken. So let's say it's $3 a pound normally. And we use, let's say 4 pounds a week, okay? So 3 pounds times 4 is $12 for 4 pounds of chicken. But I just got chicken on sale for 97 cents. That is 12 minus 4 is 8. Sorry, I'm not feeling good. So that is an $8 savings right there. That is 2 dinners worth, the entire dinner. That is 2 dinners worth of ingredients for us to cook at home that we just saved right now, right there. So let's run it a step further, okay? So I just bought 100 pounds of chicken. And let's say I paid $3 for that 100 pounds of chicken. That is $300. Now, normally if over, 6 months time, I would pay $300 for that chicken. But I go and stock up on one day. It takes me 1 hour to go to the grocery store. That's long. It doesn't take me that long. I'll say 30 minutes, but I'll give you an hour just for easy math. 97 cents a pound, that's $100. For 1 hour's worth of work, going to the grocery store and then putting it in the freezer. I don't do anything to prep it. I just throw it straight in the freezer in its package. I just saved myself $200 for 1 hour's worth of work. Okay. Now, let's say you have to go to 2 or 3 grocery stores or do, extra trips or whatever. Let's say it takes you an extra hour to do that. Is 2 hours worth of work worth it to save $200? If it's not, then you'd better be a doctor or a lawyer making some darn tootin' good money. So you need to stop getting frustrated and look at it as an opportunity instead of a frustration, okay? And that's where your mindset is going to have to start changing from a poverty mindset to a rich mindset and say, no, I'm looking for the deals and I am using my time wisely to get these deals instead of whining about how I never find anything and I can't ever get anything good on sale. I'm not saying you in particular are doing that, but I see it all the time and it happens all the time. So that's what you need to do. Darlene, where do you shop? Our Fred Meyer Kroger does not have your prices. Actually, they do, Darlene. I've been watching Fred Meyer, not as much as Kroger, but they do have those prices. You just have to catch them. And I think you're going to be seeing more coming up pretty soon. But we just saw, this is just my local grocery store, which actually is the most expensive grocery store in my town. I normally shop at Walmart because Walmart's cheaper than my grocery stores. And so we don't have as good a deal as Kroger does. So, you just have to keep watching. Like I said, these are the best prices I've seen in 20 years. So I'm taking advantage of the deal. Cindy says, I found eggs today at Costco for $3.19. You go, girl. It came in 5 dozen packages of 5 dozen, and she is going to freeze them. See, she is thinking ahead, and when she finds a good deal, she's stocking up and saving money in the future by getting those eggs. If you guys have questions or comments, please put them in the comment in the chat and Mike will send them to me. Go ahead and send me the next one, dear. Martha, she has both volumes of our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. And she says, love them. Thank you, Martha. Thank you. Thank you. They are 35% off right now. If you want to learn how to save money on your grocery bill, I am not exaggerating, guys. We get email after email from people saying they go to the grocery store the first time after reading our cookbook. It is a textbook. You learn how to cook and to shop and to save on your grocery bill just reading this book. $250 is the most recent email that I've gotten that a gal said that she saved on her first trip to the grocery store. So you can do it. Excuse me. Iris says she finally got our volume 2 Dining on a Dime cookbook. Her meat is higher priced than yours and they hardly ever go on sale. Yes, this is where you will have to just watch your sales, and maybe where you live, like when we were visiting England and Scotland and Ireland and Norway, Norway had the most expensive food that we have ever seen in our lives. It was $10 for 2 pounds of sugar. That is absurd. Why? Because they tax everything there. But our friends, Turid, that live there, our viewers, she invited us to Norway, so we decided to go. And we are so glad we did, because she just told us all the things that they do. Her and her family drive 8 hours to Sweden to stock up on groceries for the year and then come home. That is how much money they save. How many Americans are willing to drive 8 hours to the next state or to the next big city and stock up on groceries for a year? You've got to do what you got to do to save money, and it may be some work, but keep an eye out. Now, on the other side, maybe your housing is cheaper. Maybe your taxes or your car insurance is cheaper, or your job is better pay. So really, I have found all across America, it usually evens out, and you can save money in every single city and state in America if you actually want to. It's just a matter of whether you want to or not. Sue, is our Dining on a Dime cookbooks diet friendly? Well, I don't know. I just lost 25 pounds and I use all the recipes in them. So I would say yes. The thing with a diet is it has nothing to do with the kind of food you're cooking. It has to do with how much you're shoveling in your mouth. So stop shoveling it all in your mouth. That's what I finally had to tell myself. You know, it's my fault I'm overweight because I'm the one going and eating the sugar. Now, I will say, when I can keep the sugar cut out of my diet, that is when my cravings for sugar go away. And so I don't use any substitutions. I use monk fruit in my tea when I steep it a little too long to get the bite off of it. But I just don't eat any sugar at all, or honey, or anything like that. The only type of sweet thing I will eat is the jelly or jam that has been sweetened with juice. So it's the fruit and then fruit juice. I can handle that, but other people can't handle that. So that's another thing for you to do. But really, it is boiling down to how much you're shoveling in the pie hole. I'm sorry. I mean, it really is. That's what it boils down to.
A bunch of people are asking about how do you freeze eggs, because people are talking about freezing eggs.
Actually, guys, I'm going to do a video on freezing eggs, but you can do it several ways. Some people separate the egg yolks from the yolks and freeze all the yolks in like little ice cube trays and all of the whites in ice cube trays. Some people do it that way. Some people go ahead and freeze the whole egg. It works best for baking, I have found. I don't know. If you've used them for scrambled eggs, let me know if you've used frozen eggs for scrambled eggs. I haven't had the best luck with frozen eggs for scrambled eggs, but I actually have a video where I'm going to be testing and showing you how to freeze eggs coming up. It's in my queue to try and get done. Is there a deal if you buy all 4 of our books? So our volume 1 and our volume 2 and our gluten-free, dairy-free, and our planner together. Kathleen wants to know, actually 35% off is the deal. So you will save on shipping when you combine them all together. The shipping goes down, of course, because we're sending you 4 books instead of 1, so you will save on the shipping doing it that way. Barbara, I do what you do when I buy hamburger. I cook up the entire amount and break it down into portions, freeze it out, and take it out when I need some. Guys, Barbara is right. Those are my fast food meals. When I get hamburger, I buy it by the 5 or 10 pounds. Usually it's around 5 pounds. And then I cook it all up at once. It literally only takes me like 5 or 10 minutes more to cook the whole thing up instead of just 1 pound. And then I freeze in the fold top sandwich bags. Let's see, do I have? No, I don't have one down here. Oh, I got to get some of those. And I put those in a big freezer bag, and then I just pull out a packet, and my meat's already cooked. So I just throw it in the pan, defrost it throw it in the pan frozen, pour my spaghetti sauce on top, warm it all up. I could do it in the microwave if I wanted, and then pour it over my spaghetti. And literally in the 8 minutes that it takes me to make spaghetti, I have dinner in 8 minutes. Literally, I'll spread some toast with some garlic butter, with just some butter and garlic powder on it, broil it while I'm waiting for the spaghetti to cook, and then I'll either take some baby carrots or cut up some cucumbers or celery or a salad, and literally excuse me, in 8 minutes I have dinner completely done. Everybody takes their own dishes and rinses them and puts them in the dishwasher. So all I have to do is clean up my pan. And that's it. Literally 15 minutes to make. And I mean, not including the eating, but 15 minutes to make and clean up from dinner. So Stop making things more complicated than you need to. I keep seeing all these, excuse me. I keep seeing all these freezer cooking videos. No offense to my friend Kimmy, who I love. She's in her apron, who does freezer videos, and I'm telling her to do them too. But guys, I don't spend an entire, I don't think Kimmy does either, but there are some YouTubers that will spend 1 or 2 days making all of these freezer meals. And I'm like, why are you going to all this work? You know, it literally takes 15 minutes to make dinner. Why expend all this energy for 1 or 2 days cooking for 30 days worth of meals? It makes no sense to me. But I mean, if it works for you, that's fine. But people think that's the only way to save and not eat out, and it's just not true. And I think it's just because those videos are popular. Debbie says, watching from Mississippi, I have both of our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. Oh, thanks. This is volume 1 and this is volume 2. And there is a lot of good information in them along with the good recipes. Yeah, we have over 1,200 recipes and tips in volume 1 and 800 in volume 2. Barbara, I got my grandma's good china plates and bowls are smaller. Serving sizes are shrinking at my house. Yes, I actually, my friend Crystal, who we went to go visit in England, I found some plates that I just loved at the thrift store, but I just couldn't bring them home. So I only bought one set. I didn't buy the whole set. I just bought one. And she surprised me. She's the sweetest lady. She surprised me later after we got home for Christmas with the entire set. She went back to the thrift store and bought it for me. And I can't wait because my new kitchen, I'm going to put that set up and display that set in my new kitchen. I'm so excited. And, but I notice it's the same thing. The plates are like this big. They aren't this big. And so it really does boil down to serving sizes. Robin, yes, dinner plates have gone oversized. Got rid of the dinner plates a long time ago and only use luncheon plates. Very good. Yes. Very, very good. Stephanie, how do you stock up on foods if you're living in a room? I rent a room right now. That is a great question. So I had a really super tiny apartment in Colorado when I first moved out. It was actually my second apartment after I had moved out when I was a teenager. Well, I mean, I was 20. I was 19 when I moved out. And then when I was 20, I moved to my second apartment. And so whenever anybody asks me that question, I envisioned that apartment because it was super tiny. And so what I would do is, do you have places under your bed? Do you have dresser drawers that aren't full all the way? Do you have space in the back or bottom or top corners of your closet? Could you make furniture out of out of storage so that you could put things in there? So like, could you get a crate or a trash can or something and store food in there and then make it an end table or make it your dining table or something like that? So you just have to really get creative. You're not going to be able to stock up like I am here. Guys, this is a prepper's dream come true having this room. And I am not kidding. When we saw this house, I was like, oh my goodness, that is my stockpile room. And I get it. Not everyone can do this. I totally understand that. But when we didn't have this glorious house that we love now, we made do with what we have where we had. Like for years, I never had a standalone freezer. So I just used my freezer in my refrigerator to the fullest. I wouldn't go buy 100 pounds of chicken at a time, but I would buy 20 pounds. I would buy 3 or 4 things of bacon instead of 20 pounds of bacon. So just do what you can with what you have. So that answers Barbara's question. What do I do about don't have much storage room? Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Mike, can you hand me? So
I'm gonna give you.
Shells says, what is the name of the bug powder? So this is my bug powder right here in my storage room. It's called Diatomaceous Earth. Michael put the link in there for you. It's on our Amazon site. This is an affiliate link because people ask us all the time. So we do get a thank you for those of you who use our Amazon link. Thank you for using it. We really appreciate the support. But it is food grade. It is safe for you to eat. I don't eat it, but I mean, what I do is I sprinkle it on top of my buckets and I sprinkle it around the floor to make sure that it kills the bugs. What happens is the bugs walk over it and it scratches their exoskeleton and then they dehydrate and die. So that is how it works. It works for parasites and chickens and horses and people if you have parasites. So you can ingest it and it won't hurt you. Marilyn Monroe says, my 4-year-old wouldn't eat potatoes. I told her she had to stop eating French fries because they were potatoes and she doesn't like potatoes. Not too long after, she tried them again without protest. Yeah, sometimes you got to use psychology on kids. That is a good one. Single Guy, Simple Life. I bought a sliced spiral ham for 98 cents a pound at Walmart yesterday. How long will it last in my freezer? A year, 18 months, 2 years. I mean, those things are vacuum sealed and they last forever. Now, if you don't have that much room in your freezer, what you can do is go ahead and defrost it and cut it up into small pieces. That's what I'm doing today, actually, with mine, because I'm going to get all the bacon and chicken tomorrow. I had 2 big hams. So I'm cutting them up, cutting them off the bone, putting them in our family size portions. And then I'm going to stack those in the freezer and it will take up a lot less room and be more efficient than the big gangly, ham that in there. Just Vicky, I've been keeping a food journal of sorts, just writing down what I eat, drink for a while. It has really helped me to know what I need. I really do not need to eat a ton. It's very revealing. Yeah. I mean, my biggest problem is I just snack all the time. I like to just snack on stuff all the time. That is my biggest problem, why I'm overweight, because I just eat too many calories. So, Terry, do you have a list somewhere of grocery items or what on sale, what time of year? Are there some things that are never on sale? I don't have a list because it just varies in various parts of the country, but just in general terms, your beef and your ribs and your chicken, your mayonnaise, ketchup, mustards, all of those will go on sale like Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. So Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, all of those kinds of things go on sale. You can find really good deals the day after Thanksgiving and the day after Christmas because everybody's bought the hams and the turkeys for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So then they don't buy the chicken and hamburger. So you can find those on clearance. You can also find great deals on chicken at the beginning of the year in January because everybody's going on a diet. So they all think they need to all eat chicken. So that's why chicken's really cheap right now. Also, I think because of that whole killing all the chickens thing for the flu, that could be part of the reason why chicken prices are at a 20-year low right now. So I am just stocking up and getting as much as I can. The other thing is most everything goes on sale every 12 weeks or so, about every 3, sometimes 4 months. So you can see a cycle of every 3 to 4 months, things will go on sale. Alyssa says normalize long content again. Yeah, exactly. Thanks everybody. Susan and Josephine and M. Hayes. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like the long videos. Actually, we are noticing that our viewers really like the long videos. So I think we're probably not going to be cutting down in the shorter ones like I was experimenting with this month, but we'll see how that goes. We just started the experiment with the shorter ones, so we'll see how they go. Joanna, I'm from Sweden. We don't have YouTubers like you, only lifestyle YouTubers. with buy this and that, you will be happy mentality. So I'm so glad I found you. Well, thank you. So you will find this interesting. I was to be an exchange student in Sweden. So I absolutely love Sweden. I went over there for several months in the summer and then started college over there. I got sick with my chronic fatigue syndrome and had to come home. So I couldn't finish my college in Sweden, but I absolutely love Sweden. And now my son, he absolutely loves Sweden too, and he would love to go over there. Diana, right now Walmart has medium-sized eggs for $2.18 compared to Aldi large eggs $4.79. Ooh, I'll have to go check that out because I haven't checked this week to see how much eggs are at my Walmart. So that'll be interesting to see. You know what? Let me just look right now real quick because now you got my curiosity up. Let's see. What are they here in Sheridan, Wyoming? It is $5.92 for 12 eggs and $8.74 for 18 eggs. Let's see if they have medium. They do not have medium eggs here. So unfortunately, I can't get those yet, but man, I would get that. That's a good deal. Yeah, that's a really good deal. Tanya says, we do one sweet drink a day. So if I have iced coffee, so if we have iced coffee, that's the sweet drink. Yep, that's a good way to do it. Valerie, what is the deal with the shortage of potato products? Instant potatoes, tater tots, fries have been scarce in our stores. We don't buy much of these. But notice this at our stores. I don't know. I haven't noticed a shortage of potatoes, but we don't buy a ton of potatoes. So, I haven't really noticed yet. Elise. Oh, thank you. She loves my curly hair. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I washed it and just let it be today. Joanna says, dream to be a stay-at-home mom in Sweden. That's unusual. I think we would make it if I stopped shopping after harsh days at work. It's like a bad cycle that never ends. Tips to stop comfort shopping. Yes. So on a day when you're not stressed out, get prepared ahead so that you can tell yourself, wait, I've already got that hamburger cooked up in the freezer. I've already got that chicken at home in the refrigerator, defrosted. Make sure in the morning before you go to work, you have your dinner planned out for the next day. As a matter of fact, I would go even a step further and say after dinner the night before, plan the next night's dinner. Also, don't make meal planning hard. You don't have to sit down and meal plan a whole entire month's worth of meals at once. You can just rotate the same 10 dinners. And what I do is I have like a spring list and a winter list and a fall list and a summer list. I do fall and winter and then spring and summer is what I do. I don't do all four. Sorry, I said that wrong. And so I have 10 meals for winter and fall, and then I have 10 meals for spring and summer, and then I just rotate them. That's only eating the same meal 3 times a month. Now, the other tip is, I know that I say I go shopping up for deals, but I shop to fill my pantry, and then I eat from my pantry and my freezer instead of planning for what I want to eat. So I always have meals that we always enjoy, but I don't go and say, oh, I think I'll have steak and potatoes today, or I have chicken. So we're going to have chicken with mashed potatoes or rice and a salad or something like that. Get your meals simplified to where you're using foods from your pantry that you already have on hand instead of after dinner going shopping. Now, I don't think you guys in Sweden, maybe it's changed since I was there, but I don't know if you guys use things like your crock pot or your instant pot or your oven as much, but start getting in the habit of putting your dinner in a crock pot or the oven or something to slow cook all day, and then it's ready when you get home. You can put your chicken and your potatoes in a 200-degree, I don't know what that would be Celsius, but whatever, a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven to roast slowly all day long. And then when you come home, dinner's already made. That's another way to do it. And I would definitely do that. Lisa, are you still on a gluten-free, dairy-free diet? Yes. And actually, I'm on an even stricter diet now. I am only eating about 3 foods right now. I'm doing another elimination diet. For those of you who don't know, I have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. And I know that one of my triggers that makes me feel bad is certain foods. And I've been working on this for years. So it's an ongoing thing for me. But I have cut back, and now I am eating even less, and I'm only on 3 foods, and I'm going to do that for a while. See if I can calm my system down and then start adding in foods to see what is triggering me to not feel well. And I will say sugar is the big one for me. If I can keep off sugar, I usually feel pretty well. It's just, hard. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. Everything has sugar in it. So Elaine says, Tara starts the bottled water smackdown. I am sorry. Yes, you are right. I'm just going to smack people down with that, because bottled water is probably the number one waste of money when it comes to food or drinks for people. Even more so than sodas. Because at least with sodas, you're getting some sort of flavor, you're getting the caffeine, you're getting the carbonation. Bottled water is just plain stupid. Buying bottled water is just plain stupid. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy bottled water for emergency situations, but my mom and grandma, they would just take a thermos, or they would fill an old plastic soda bottle, and that would be our water when we would go places. You did not buy bottled water. It's the biggest waste of money. So yeah, there's my smackdown again, because it is just a huge waste of money. Go ahead, dear, and send me the next one. Pamela Tara sounds like she needs to wash down some chopped garlic with some raw honey, lemon tea. Thank you. She said, get well soon. Thank you. Yes, I have a cold. Mike has a cold. We got Jack's cold, although we didn't get as bad as Jack, thankfully. So, Nikki, your stores don't have limits on purchases of a chicken? All our stores put limits of 2 packages. Yes, they do. And no, they don't. So it depends on the store. Some stores do have limits, but I will tell you, I do the maximum I can do. So if it's limit 1 purchase per household, then I'll just get the 1. If it's limit 1 purchase, 1 product per purchase, then I will go in and get 1. Mike will go in and get 1. Dave will go in and get 1. And Mom, if she doesn't use that item, I'll have her pick it up for me when she goes to the grocery store. And yeah, we get the maximum limit that we can. And so there's different limits. 1 is per household. That means you can only get 1 if you live in that house. Per person is, like on your card, you can only use that card once. Per transaction is you can only do it that transaction, but you could do several transactions if you want. And so just learn what your stores have for limits. And then some of our stores don't have limits. Like tomorrow, there's no limits, but there's a limit on the amount that they have bought. So you need to get your tushy there early, which is why my booty's going to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning getting the bacon and the chicken. And I'm going to run and fight Brad from the restore. He's my bud. I'm going to go fight Brad for the bacon and the chicken. Not really. But yeah, so that's why you got to be on the ball and get there early. And know when their trucks come in. You need to know when their trucks come in also. Wow, you guys are hopping today. Mike is sending me all kinds of tips. or I mean questions for our tips. Thank you, Rivers Bend. I'm glad you're liking the lives. Now, just so you guys know, we are doing more lives right now because our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are on sale for 35% off Volume 1, Volume 2, and then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition also. And I mean, this is way more than just recipes. We have over 1,200 recipes and tips in Volume 1 alone. 500 of those are recipes. The rest are all tips on saving on your grocery bill. Dining on a Dime, Volume 2. Same thing, 800 recipes and tips. Guys, I know grocery prices are going up, but I'm telling you, my grocery bill is going down using these tips. Your grocery bill does not have to go up. The other thing is, you need to keep things in perspective and stop exaggerating. I was standing when you guys see Sunday's video with my 100 pounds of my 100 avocados and my 100 pounds of chicken. That video is coming out Sunday. I was standing at the cooler talking to a guy as I was getting the chicken, and he said, "Wow, that's a good deal." I said, "I know." I said, "I'm stocking up." He said, "Yeah, me too." He said, "My grocery bill has tripled." And I didn't argue with him. I don't just argue with people at the store. But he said that, and I was like, "Oh, well," I said, "Well, mine stayed the same, or some things have even gone down a little bit." He's like, "Oh, mine has tripled." There is no way his grocery bill has tripled. Grocery prices have not tripled. If he was spending $100 on groceries, he's not spending if he's buying the same exact groceries, he's not spending $300 on groceries. Now, he might be spending $125 on groceries now, but they haven't tripled. And so you have to keep perspective on how much it's actually costing you. And remember that, yes, things have gone up, but they haven't tripled, and it hasn't gotten to the point where it's hyperinflation yet, or even crazy. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my editor in the Philippines, and he asked me how much a pound of onions was. And I said, well, it's $1 about for a pound of onions. He said, it's $10 here for 1 pound of onions, and most people earn $10 to $11 a day. Let that sink in. Americans are spoiled brats. Even with inflation, it is not that bad. You have got to get a grip and realize that, yes, all your fun stuff may have to go away, but you are going to be well fed. It's not going to take you an entire day's worth of wages to buy 1 pound of onion. Really, you've got to keep it in perspective. Jenny says, the chicken fried steak is great. Misty says she's making the chicken fried steak tonight. It's on page 226, 35% off right now. All right, who loves the chicken fried steak in Dining on a Dime cookbook?
Mike does.
This is Mike's number one favorite recipe, is the chicken fried steak in our cookbook. Pamela, why is chicken so cheap but eggs so high? So I think it's because they had to slaughter all the chickens for that chicken flu that was going around. And so the ones that were still healthy, they slaughtered them and sold them instead of just throwing them away. So that's probably why, because they don't have chickens laying eggs. So they slaughtered them and sold them. That's my guess. I don't know if anybody actually knows if I'm right or not. I don't know if I'm right or not on that. I could be totally wrong. That's just a guess. That's just an educated guess that I have. Becky said, I've been listening to you a lot lately. When I went into the grocery store this morning, I looked at something and thought, if it is not on sale, I don't buy it. You go, girl. Good job. Elise, yeah, a lot. Yeah, I agree with the lady who said she loves your down to earth family. Couldn't agree more. Such great practical, real life, common sense wisdom. Living on a dime. I've been a fan for 20 plus years since I bought my first copy of Not Just Beans. Guys, that was the title of that was the original title of our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Trying to figure out how to be a stay at home wife when I was pregnant for the first time with my daughter. I did it too, and I love it. Still using all of your tips as an empty nester housewife. You've been with us for 20 years. Wow. That is great. Yeah, we've been doing this for 25 years. So thank you for staying with us all this time. Wow.
Oh, it's like a full career.
I know.
Except we only got paid for the last 5 years.
Yeah. That started. Yeah. Tam says she just ordered her first book, the volume 1, 35% off. Thanks for the sale. You are welcome. I am so glad we put them on sales because we know the prices are going up for a lot of things, but it doesn't have to mean your grocery bill goes up. Just because prices are going up doesn't mean your grocery budget has to go up. Jackie, loved your advice. I have stocked my pantry well. Now I only buy when on super sale to keep the momentum rolling. Good going. And I bought a 10-pound bag of chicken leg quarters at Walmart for 49 cents a pound. You go, girl. That is great. I just cooked up a bunch of chicken quarters that we had to make room in the freezer for the chicken tenders that I'm going to get tomorrow for the very same price. Or no, I think mine was 69 cents a pound, but still, really good deal. And, oh, wait, wrong person. Yes, dear?
I was going to say, don't worry, you can't catch it over the internet.
Yeah, don't worry, you can't catch it over the internet. Bobcat fan, I got bags of cheddar cheese for 50 cents a bag and eggs for $1.99 a dozen. You go. That is great. Stephanie, thank you for the video about using the zip tie as a drain snake cleaner. It worked like a charm. Doesn't that work great? I know. Also, my kids love the overnight oats recipe. It's in our volume 2 book that I just dropped back here. So I am glad you like that. Joanna, do you ship your books to Sweden? I'm so sorry. Guys, we can't ship outside the United States anymore. We had to stop all international shipping because of the laws in all of your various countries between Canada and the EU. And I mean, it just got to be too much bookkeeping. We were actually losing money shipping books outside the country. But good news, we have them in digital form, so you can buy them in ebook form. Michael they are on sale 50% off right now. And just for you, Joanna, if Michael put the link in there, if you use the coupon Dining1, DINING, and the number 1, you will get that ebook for free right now.
What link am I putting in?
For the ebooks.
But where to get Dining 1 ebooks? Yeah.
And if you go for the Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, ebook version, use the coupon code DINING, DINING 1, no spaces, and the number 1. You will get that for free just for you. And for all of you who are watching. Guys, I sneak these freebies in all the time. So you may want to go back and watch some of my videos, because in the last year, I've been sneaking in a lot of freebies. Our store is livingonadime.com.
Do you want me to put the code on the link or just let you?
Yeah, you can. That's fine. Country Girl for Christ says, what's the name of your store? It's livingonadime.com.
What's the coupon code?
Dining1. Sob says, I appreciate you, your mom, and Mike. Thank you for taking the time to help us. You are welcome. I'm so glad. Do your Dining on a Dime cookbooks have recipes for coffee mate substitutions? Yes, we actually do have coffee creamer substitutions. And we have the fancy coffee that you get at Starbucks and all that. We have substitutions for those. Also, you can go to our website. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. You can go to our website, livingonadime.com. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. livingonadime.com. Type in coffee, and you will see 10 coffee. 10 coffee. I'm trying not to sneeze.
You want me to mute the sound while you go blow your nose?
Type in coffee, and you will see 10 coffee recipes for you to make at home. Sorry. Elizabeth, how long would your stockpile last you? So my stockpile, if we were really conservative and just ate probably, like 1,800 calories a day, if we were really conservative, I think I need to go and re-add it up again. I haven't added it up for a while, but I think that it would last us around 7 to 8 months. It depends on how many people we had at the house. It depends on if my older kids had to come home or if mom was living here or something like that. So, but I'm estimating about 7 to 8 months. Life with Linda. I'm cooking up tonight a big batch of turkey spaghetti and we'll freeze it for a bunch of meals. There you go. It's easy for those hurry days. Yep. Mm-hmm. Barbara, I use, I think she's talking about frozen eggs for scrambles and baking, stocked up when they were, I don't see the price. Must have been a really good deal. She beats each egg gently, freezes them individually in muffin tins. And then pops them out and puts them in Ziploc baggies. That's really good.
Do you need me to get you something? Lemon water or something?
Probably not. Allie says, when I freeze eggs, I put 2 in a Ziploc bag, scramble them, and put in a pinch of salt. Yes, so the salt actually helps them preserve better frozen. I froze about 20 dozen egg prices before egg prices went up. Uh-oh, what's so funny?
Kate N says, I'm wearing a mask while watching this. And then she says, just kidding. But
that's funny.
That's funny. It's not a computer virus, so you're good.
All right. Wow. Everybody freezing eggs. You go, guys. That's great. Julianne says she made a Play-Doh recipe, entertained her kids for hours. That's great. Sob, what's your favorite dessert recipe in the book? I'm looking for one to try first. I would say the brownies are our favorite. I don't know. All of them are really super good. The brownies, the no-bake fudge cookies are really good. The lava cake, the hot fudge cake. They call it different names. Hot fudge cake in the book. They call it lava cake now. But when we wrote the book, it was hot fudge cake. So Kelly says, I'm making the potato soup out of our volume 2 tonight. 35% off, guys. Yes, that is our loaded potato soup. It's super, super good. Naomi says she's making mom's stew from Dining on a Dime Volume 1 as she watches. It's the best stew ever. Isn't that the best stew you've ever had? I don't like anybody's stew but my mom's. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. I just... really only like mom's stew. It's just the best. Sob says, do we have a Stockpile cookbook? Yes. Michael put the link in there for you. You can go get that for free also.
For which thing?
The Stockpile ebook.
Oh, yeah.
Kate said, I had power outages for 10 hours. Should I throw everything out in my freezer? No, don't throw it out. If you kept your freezer closed, everything should be fine. I threw out everything in my fridge. You didn't need to throw out everything in your fridge either. Oh, that's... If your trash hasn't gone out, really, you don't need to throw everything out in your fridge either. So if you have a power outage, the things I would throw out would be mayonnaise, dairy-based dressings like ranch dressing, any meat that you would throw out, those are the main things. Your eggs are fine if it's only been 10 hours in the refrigerator without power. Your eggs are fine. Your Italian dressings, your non-dairy based dressings, all of those are fine. Your ketchup, your mustard is fine. Your cheese should be fine. Your cheese should be fine.
Butter and margarine.
Your butter is fine. Your margarine is fine. Your milk should be fine. It doesn't spoil. Your milk should be fine. It's just the mayonnaise. There's something about mayonnaise, and I don't know what it is, that it spoils faster. But like milk, your milk should be fine 10 hours out. I'm trying to think of what else do you have in the fridge that all your fruits, all your vegetables should be fine. Your soy sauces, your Worcestershire sauce should be fine. All your pickles are fine. Beets, anything like that is fine. Anything with vinegar in it, like pickled beets, pickled or pickles. Um, yeah, so you didn't need to throw everything out. Oh, that makes go go dumpster diving in your own trash and get it back out again because you didn't need to throw all that stuff away.
With the more if you win.
Maybe. I'll see this minute. Barbara. When you went, Sandra says, when you went on your big European vacation, did you find good deals on travel and lodging? Yes. So we spent $20,000 for 5 to 6 people. We had 6 people for 2 weeks and 5 people for the rest, and we were gone 7 weeks.
Yep.
So I would say that's a pretty darn tootin' good deal.
We did some Airbnb, but it was less good than when it was just 2 of us.
Yeah.
We were doing entire flats or houses.
Mm-hmm.
We used some of the online services like booking.com or Expedia for hotels. And we basically shopped till we found some amazing deal somewhere. And a lot of times, like Dublin is really expensive. So we booked a place in Roundwood, which is just outside of Dublin, since we had a car anyway. So we used a lot of those kind of strategies to get the best prices.
Joanna, send me the next batch, Mike. Joanna, thanks for the tips. I actually have a crock pot that I love, but we'll use it more often. Yes, Joanna, I think if you planned the night before what you were going to have and threw it in your crock pot before you go to work, as a matter of fact, I would just throw it in the crock pot at night. If you have the removable, I don't know if you have the removable kind. If not, just put the whole crock pot in your fridge. Or if you're in Sweden, just put it outside in a cooler or something. But if you had the whole thing, your whole dinner and everything in the crock pot the night before, and then all you did was turn it on before you went to work, that would probably stop you right there. I challenge you, Joanna, 7 days. Do that and let me know how it goes next week. I want to know how it goes next week. I think it'll change your life. Robin, speaking of eggs, is there a difference between brown eggs and white eggs? Nope. Other than the color? Nope. Just get whatever's cheapest. So that's what I would do. Do you use a water filter? Is one better than the other? Okay, so yes, we use a water filter, but I have to explain why we use a water filter. And no, none are better than the other, despite what the marketing says. So we are at the end of the line for our water pipe, and the city refuses to put in a new line, and the line is really old and rusty. And because we are at the end, the rust settles at the end of our line. Because of that, the former owners forced the city to put in a water filter in our house, particularly, and they maintain it for us. The city pays to maintain it for us because we would not have drinkable or usable water because the city refuses to pay to replace the line. So I do have a water filter because of that. I also have a water filter on my fridge, which most people nowadays, if they have a refrigerator with a water dispenser, they have water filters. So there's no need to get a separate one. So yeah. Martha, I have fibromyalgia also, and I cut out sweets and sugar, and my pain level decreased a lot. Yeah, mine goes way down when I cut it out.
So a number of people were confused. They weren't sure if the Dining One code was good for only the Dining One ebook,
yes,
or also any other ebooks.
Nope, it's only good for the Dining One ebook. All the other ebooks are 50% off for our New Year's sale.
Yeah, Barbara was mentioning it 10 hours, and even in the fridge, she said, shouldn't it be okay in the fridge if it's closed for 10 hours?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe not your meats. I maybe wouldn't do your meat, but I mean, your lunch meats should be fine. They're preserved. So your lunch meat should be fine. The only thing I would think of would be like raw chicken. But even that, I would probably now this is not advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. If it was me and my fridge had stayed closed that entire time, I would probably just cook it up right away. And why didn't you just cook up all the food outside on your grill or something? I mean, you could have done that too. So, but it should be fine because you've got like 4 hours before bacteria starts growing. And so let's say your refrigerator stays super cold for the first 2 hours because even though it doesn't have power, the residual cold is still there. So let's say it stayed cold for 2 hours, and then you've got another 4 hours. So that's 6 hours. And then you go ahead and cook it up on the grill and eat it for dinner. I would have done that if that was the situation I was in. But yeah. Okay, so everybody's saying it's amazing how much better you feel when you get out all the trigger foods. Yes, when you have autoimmune disorders, foods can be a big trigger. And for me, they are a big trigger, and I'm still working on it. And Pedro wants to know, what am I eating now? So really don't want to tell you guys because I know I'm just going to never hear the end of it. But right now I am eating a very specialized beef. Ghee, which is clarified butter. It's the milk proteins taken out of butter, and it's just the oil. So I'm eating a very specialized beef, ghee, and some chicken, some lamb. Well, really not much chicken. I'm eating a little bit of chicken only because right now it's been a really stressful few days with getting ready for the kitchen remodel, and I didn't feel like cooking up my other stuff. But beef and lamb and ghee is the majority of what I'm eating right now. So yeah. And I can already tell just 3 days in, I'm feeling much better. It's amazing how fast I clear up when I do that. But I did fall off the wagon for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I had some dairy and a little bit of gluten. And oh, it was so delicious. But I felt awful. And it was funny because Mom came over to see, because our daughter was here for New Year's, and she's like, "Man, you don't look very good." And I'm like, "No, that's because I fell off my diet." And I can tell I swell up, my eyes get all red, and I get really swollen. And so I can tell when I eat that stuff, I just don't feel good. Debbie says, yesterday I cleaned and organized both my freezers. I had already planned to, but after I watched your video, I was motivated to get it done. Yay! That is great. Is there a difference in the early edition softcover of Volume 1 and the newer edition? So it depends on which edition of Volume 1 you had. If it's the 20th anniversary, no. But if it's the ones before that, then yes. This edition right here, 35% off right now, guys. Dining on a Dime cookbook, livingonadime.com. It is different if you bought it before the 20th anniversary edition. So any edition 2019 and earlier, so 1999 to 2019, that's the same book. And then after that, the red one in the 20th anniversary edition is the same. So for you guys who are on Dining on a Dime cookbook, who are on a special diet, gluten-free, dairy-free, Dining on a Dime cookbook. Now, this does have sugar in it, so it's not sugar-free. But I still use, like I made ranch dressing the other day. Before I went on such a strict diet, I made some dairy-free ranch dressing. Dear, tell them what you think of the dairy-free ranch dressing.
It was awesome. You know what? It's the best ranch. I'm not very ham friendly, but she made some sliced fried ham and made a sandwich out of it and put that on there. And two of the kids and I went skiing last week, and that was lunch. And I thought, this is amazing. This is really good. It's like the best It actually makes me want to eat ham. And if it ain't wham, it ain't ham. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Sal says, I agree. I don't like all the complaining about high prices. It's so weak. Actually, I'm doing a video. I asked my Filipino editor to give me their prices on food. And quite frankly, Americans should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. I am doing a video on the comparisons. I don't care how poor you are in America, you're still so rich. It's disgusting to hear people complaining about how they can't make ends meet and they have to go to the food bank and all this. And yeah, I'm not going to even get started now because I'll just go on for 4 hours because honestly, after he told me the prices they pay there and how much they earn, I'm almost ashamed to send my videos to him to edit because I'm like, I feel I don't know the word that I'm trying to think of, but I feel embarrassed that I'm even having to tell people to save money on this stuff. I really do. And that's why I have no patience because, I grew up in extreme poverty. My mom, for those of you who don't know, raised 2 teenagers on $500 a month. And even in the 80s, that was still very, very poverty. That was below the poverty level by like 40, like it was 60% below the poverty level still, even back then. So it's almost embarrassing sending him videos to edit because it's like, my goodness, Americans are so petty. It's absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, that's my rant for the day. Now, was that bad?
No.
Was that bad, guys? You should see the comment I got on Facebook. I'm getting a collection and the trolls are I'm just so happy. They're just sending me all kinds of good stuff. I got one today and I'm just like, oh my goodness, lady, I can't even believe you said that. All right. Connie says, thank you for all the great tips. Made peanut butter fudge and taco seasoning, which I have never done. By far better. Yay! Also found 10 pounds of chicken quarters for $6.67. That is great. You go. Let's see. All right. Yeah.
D. Parker says, Tara's right. I lived in Guam and folks have dirt floors or just concrete. Let's be grateful. And Guam is in the United States.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so I'm doing a whole video on this, so I don't want to give away my whole video, but he sent me a list of their groceries and what they pay for prices, and milk wasn't on there. And I said, do you guys buy milk? And he said, yeah. He said, well, no, we don't buy fresh milk. He said Filipinos drink mostly dry milk because the majority of them do not have refrigerators. And they can't afford to have the milk just spoil because they don't have refrigerators. Now, probably 99% of Americans have refrigerators. You are so stinking rich if you just have a refrigerator that it's unbelievable. And when he was telling me those things, I was just like, I was just speechless because I just felt like, my goodness, I'm having to tell people this stuff to stop being so selfish and petty when these poor people who seem to be really happy literally really don't have anything. And we are so stinking rich. It's unbelievable. The absolute poorest people, the homeless people living in tents on the streets have more than a huge portion of the world. I mean, we've got to get a grip. And I know people aren't going to, but I don't know. I just was really disgusted with how Americans have just been whining and whining about their grocery bills. But anyway, yeah, that's my that's my rant for this week. Good grief.
You mean to send you more?
All right, let's see. Tay Tay, oh, thank you for the compliment, Tay Tay. Appreciate that. Janet says my girls love the first cookbook. That's our Dining on a Dime. I dropped the volume 2 back there, so I can't reach it, but this is volume 1. The blue one is volume 2. They have totally different recipes, but they can go together as a set. They're just all the recipes that we wanted to put in there and couldn't have the room. Barbara, why is it I bought eggs, but the majority of whites were watery? What in the world causes that? I have no idea. The only thing that I could think of is that they froze possibly in shipment or in storage or whatever before they got to the store. Does anybody know? I don't know. You'll have to Google that one. I don't know. All right. Send me one more, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, now we have 900 people. I need to go on my rant. Yeah. Anna says, if you're born in the USA, you're very lucky. People have, even with the current administration, who is a complete boob. Sorry, I know the Bible says I'm supposed to be respectful of my government officials. Please forgive me. Even with the administration we have now, as Christians, we have to remember that we are to be like Daniel. Daniel was respectful, but he stood up to the king when the king asked him to do things that went against the Bible. And as Americans, we are so fortunate to be in the United States. We have no idea how lucky we are. And even with the current administration trying to systematically destroy our country, and they are trying to do that, and I get it. And they're doing it on purpose. I get that. But even as Americans and as Christian Americans, we are still so fortunate that we have no idea how luxurious we are living, even in the poorest of situations. Even those homeless people on the street are in much more luxurious conditions than, probably half the world's population. So, I don't know. I think in 2023, people really need to get a perspective. And I'm going to be doing some videos on that, but yeah. Yeah. Yes. Did you send me the next one?
Yes.
All right. Let me see. Laura says her and her family love the bread from our Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1. Thank you. 35% off right now, guys. We got our New Year's sale going on.
You don't have to do the rest of the questions if you're fading.
Yep, I'm just going through real quick here. What condiments do not need refrigeration? So I think I already went through all that, but basically anything that's vinegar based is fine. So like your Italian dressings, your non-dairy dressings. So like your mayonnaise, I probably wouldn't. Your ranch dressing, it would probably be fine, but probably not your ranch dressing. Let's see, what do I got back here that I'm like? Your sweet and sour sauce is fine. Your honey mustard is probably fine. Your ketchup, horseradish, pickles, relish, all your jellies are fine. Anything with sugar and vinegar is preservatives, so you don't need to worry about those. Barbecue sauce should be fine. It's got sugar in it, so all of those should be fine. All right, let's see. Robin says we have power issues at our vacation home. I keep a cup of frozen water with a coin. Oh, yeah. This is a good tip from Robin. So she keeps a cup of frozen water and a coin at the top. Okay. So she freezes the water, sets the coin on top, and you can put in a little bit more water if you want on top. You can just set the coin on there. Then when they come back to their vacation home, if the coin is at the bottom of the cup, she will know that it has defrosted. And if it's clear at the bottom of the cup, I probably wouldn't keep the food then, because that means that it took quite a while to defrost. It takes a long time for a cup of water, probably 12, 15, 20 hours. I would say probably 24 hours. I don't know. I'd have to test it and see. But it would take a really long time for a cup to defrost in a freezer. So then I would probably go ahead and get rid of your food. That's a great tip. Doodle Toot says she made 35% off right now, guys. Gluten-free, dairy-free edition of our cookbook. She made the apple bread. It was so good, and I was asked for the recipe several times. I will be making it again. Isn't that stuff good?
Oh, the apple bread is so awesome.
I love the apple bread. It is so stinking delicious. Big Pond. My electric went out on one side of our garage about 5 days ago. It's not heated. I checked my freezer today and whole chicken was thawed but still had some ice on it. Would you cook it? Yes. If it was thawed but still had ice, it's still cold enough. It should be fine. Rhonda, almost every recipe you can cook for a long cook time. Just turn down to 170 to 200 degrees your oven and you'll be good. Tam says our undated planner is next on her list. Yes, we have our undated planners in stock, guys. These are not on sale because they're made in the USA, so we don't have as big of a profit margin on them. But 400 pages almost. Daily planner, undated, so that you can use it any time of the year. You don't have to feel bad about wasting pages because you didn't start till January 20th or July 20th. You can start at the beginning and just use it, and it will get you organized. Yes. Cindy says for great desserts to try our fudge in our volume 2 Dining on a Dime cookbook. Isn't it delicious? Oh my goodness, our 2-ingredient fudge is so good. D. Parker, I see your wire shelves. How do you keep them from tipping over? So one way is to make sure the feet, these have adjustable feet on the bottom, and make sure the feet on the front are higher, just, a half an inch or so, than the feet on the back. Put the heavier stuff at the back also. And if you don't have adjustable feet, just take shims or a piece of thin wood and put it under the front feet. Also, you can take, I don't know what they're called. It's like a half moon hook. It's a hook that's half moon. It has 2 screw holes, and you put it over the, either the, what are these things called? Either the poles or the shelf wire, either way, into the wall, into a stud, and that can keep it also.
I think I thought I understood her to mean, maybe she did mean about the shelves tipping over.
Oh, you mean tipping over for the foods?
Like if you put the can of spray over there.
So see how I have them in boxes? I collect, right here, my, see this one has fallen over. So I keep these boxes, and I haven't had a collection yet, so I'm collecting as I go. And then as I start getting them, I start putting the stuff in there, and then that keeps them from tipping over. You can also they have, at the dollar stores, they have these floor tiles that are 12-inch floor tiles, and you can take the backs off and stick them on there. And that will make you a solid shelf then. That's another thing to do. You could also just take cardboard and put it down or anything like that. Finding a way, what do you like using instead of gluten-free bread crumbs as a cheap option? So you can use oatmeal. You can use potato flake. It just depends on what you're using it for. So like if you're coating chicken, you could use potato flakes or cornmeal. If you're using it in what do you call, what's meatloaf? I was gonna say, what did we have last night? If you're using it for meatloaf, then I would use cornmeal or oatmeal or what was the other one? Yeah, cornmeal or oatmeal in meatloaf. So if you're coating things like pork chops or chicken or whatever, you'll want to use potato flakes or cornmeal. If you're using it inside to stretch, you'll want to use oatmeal or cornmeal. Yeah. All right. One more, dear, or are we good?
Well, there are a couple more questions if you want to answer them. I didn't know.
All right. I'll take the last few.
It's just a handful, so.
So while Mike's getting those, guys, my kitchen remodel is imploding and it hasn't even started yet. I went to another kitchen designer yesterday to try and just get a plan laid out, and I still couldn't get a plan laid out. Actually, what's holding me up right now is the contractor has to tell me what he can do with my corner where my ovens are. And until he can come out and tell me what he can do with that, I'm kind of stuck is where the problem is. And I asked them several weeks ago if they wanted to come out, and they said, no, we'll just be surprised. And I'm like, yeah, you might really be surprised. But we'll see. But I think I'm getting closer to a plan. I got the first box of stuff packed up, and I'm going to be packing up tomorrow the whole kitchen, and it looks like it's going to be about maybe a 5 to 6 month process now. They said it takes 12 weeks to order the new cabinets that I'm going to have to fill in holes. Well, I can't do the countertops until the cabinets are in. So I have to wait 12 weeks to get the cabinets, and then they'll measure for the countertops, and it takes 6 to 8 weeks, so probably 8 weeks for the countertops to come. So we're talking 3 months. We're talking 5 months. Oh my goodness. This is going to be an ordeal. So loving it all. I do not have a chocolate gravy recipe, which is funny because my family is actually from the South. So I'm surprised none of my grandmas had a chocolate gravy. But
I was thinking about Jenny in New Jersey saying using gravy to mean sauce.
Yeah. Now, if you mean like Hershey's sauce, yes. Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1. You could probably just use our Hershey's, our chocolate syrup in here. It's really good. It is a lot cheaper than Hershey's.
Just Vicky says the kitchen will be an adventure.
The kitchen will be an adventure. Just Vicky says, yeah, we'll call it that.
I think Tara's going to have the camera going the whole time.
I think it's going to be a test of Tara's Christian attitude. No, I mean, we're bracing. I think we're braced, aren't we? I mean, I think we're bracing ourselves for the worst. And then if the worst doesn't happen, we'll just do a celebration. I mean, if they happen to get it done in 3 weeks by some miracle 3 months by some miracle of some sort, then.
Well, kind of what we try to do to adjust our expectations is we've had people tell us, we've never had anyone else remodel something before, but we have had people say, oh, it always comes in over budget and it always comes in too long. And so we just planned for it to be a lot more time and more money than they told us it would be. So I think that's helpful. Plus at this house, we have, was it Christy that asked about not having a usable kitchen? We actually have a little apartment in the basement.
We actually have
it's an almost
3 kitchens. We have our studio kitchen, we have our basement kitchen, we have our regular kitchen.
But the basement kitchen does not have a regular range and oven, but it has a microwave and a fridge.
And a sink.
We'll be able to pull it off. And we might.
And the studio has a fridge, a microwave, and a sink.
Yeah, the studio kitchen has a stove, but it's not currently wired, but I could wire it if we needed it real bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, and honestly, I don't think we're going to use any of those kitchens. I think we're going to do it all on the dining room table, to be honest. And I'm going to do several videos on how to cook when you don't have a kitchen. But, yeah.
They said I was covered by cookbooks. Oh, Diana S. gave $20 for the Bible ministry.
Oh, thank you, Diana, for the Bible money. Appreciate that. We will be sending those Bibles out. Yes, we give away free Bibles, guys. We are just evangelical Christians. We do not come to your door. We don't call you nothing. But we want everyone to have the Word of God in their hands. in an easy to read, large print Bible. And it's not a giant print, it's a large print. So it's like a 12-point font. And if you need a free Bible, please go to livingonadime.com, click on the shop, click on free Bible, and use the coupon code free Bible. And we are happy to just send you a Bible because we want everyone to know the Word of God and to know that God does love you and He is there for you if you will ask Him to be in your life. All right. Polly says, we are a one-income family of 4 in the UK, and friends ask how we manage as they struggle on 2 incomes with no children. We reduced our monthly food bill from £400 to £300, even with rising prices. You go, girl. I think my grocery bill here in the States also has gone down about $100 now with all these good chicken deals. So, Cindy, you are so smart about these things. Did you ever make mistakes in the beginning? I have only begun this journey for about a year. We have a good stockpile now. Thank you. Yes, and I still make mistakes all the time. Here's the thing. So you can't let your mistakes or failures or frustrations stop you from doing it. In the long run, the reason why I am able to have a really nice, expensive house is because I have never spent more than $400 a month on my groceries. Even when I had 7 people, I had 4 teenagers, 3 boys, 4 teenagers, and 1 elementary student. I had 5 kids that I was feeding. My grocery bill still was not more than $400. And the reason why we were able to have this really nice house with this huge stockpile room that I love is because our priority was on getting a nice house that we loved. Our priority was not on a car and having car payments. We drove clunker cars. We drove used cars. And really, they weren't that clunkerish. I mean, really, we had one car that, a Band-Aid duct tape was holding on the fender, but that was my daughter's car after she crashed it and she didn't want to get it fixed. She'd rather take the money. So we were like, okay. But really, our cars weren't that bad. They were really nice cars. We just bought them used and instead of having car payments. So we've never had car payments. We've never had credit card. We've never had student loans. And we focused on keeping our bills, our heat down, our grocery bills down so that then we can afford it. And so now we are reaping what we have sown. And it is so hard. Believe me. Everyone thinks, oh, well, you just live in a really nice house and you're just really fortunate. No, we have worked our tails off. And I totally understand. Sometimes it is really hard when those bills are coming in and those medical bills are coming in and you can't pay them and you really screwed up on something, trying to figure out how you're going to do it. Well, you know what? Have a good cry, blow your nose, get some sleep, and start again the next morning. I mean, I don't know how many times, even this week, I was trying to remember what my big frugal flop was. Oh, yeah, I know what my big frugal flop was. That's what it was. Hello. I went and bought all this chicken for $1.40 a pound because that's the cheapest it's been in like, I don't know, a really long time. I can't remember if my chicken that I got last year was $1 a pound or $1.50 a pound. But it's been a really long time since I've seen chicken for $1.40 a pound. So I stocked up. And guess what? 2 days later, it's going to be 97 cents a pound tomorrow. That's my huge frugal flop. But you know what? It's still way cheaper than all the people who are paying $3 for boneless, skinless chicken breasts at Walmart. It's still way cheaper. So, yeah, I totally messed up on that one. I could have saved myself another $50. But I did the best that I could at the time. I didn't know it was going to go down even cheaper. I haven't seen chicken for 97 cents in 20 years. I had no idea. So what am I doing? I'm cooking up the turkey that's in my freezer. I'm cutting up the hams that are in my freezer, putting them and compacting them so I have more room to store more chicken. I'm cooking up some of the chicken so that we have it already cooked up. and ready to go for when the remodel starts. I'm going to have all these packets of chicken and ham and turkey already set up, ready to go. So when I need to cook dinner for Mike and the boys, it's ready to go and easy. So just give yourself some grace, move on, and go to the next deal. Nancy says, absolute best is Tara's. That's actually my grandmother's recipe for barbecue meatballs. For verification, speak to my 3-year-old great-grandson. It's not dinner at great-grandma's house without Tara's meatballs. These are like the best darn meatballs you will ever have. My grandma's recipe is so good.
They're amazing.
They are amazing, especially if you make the homemade barbecue sauce, which is not expensive at all. And it is just, oh my goodness, it is just so darn tootin' good. It's not even funny. Yeah. So Nancy, she's a little sentimental about our spiral bound cookbook. It helped this frugal old lady learn lots of 2 tips. Oh, that's sweet. The store that's selling it here is called Ridley's. It's just a little local store that's in the west and northwest here. It's not a very popular store, but
it's seceded from Safeway.
It's seceded from Safeway. It used to be Safeway.
It used to be Safeway, and they didn't want to do Safeway, so they just separated. The owner set them up separately.
Yeah. And another thing on the success about, frugal tips and everything. Success breeds success. Somebody just said in here. Yes, the more you do it, the more it becomes your habit, and the more it's easier to do. As a matter of fact, Mom and I both have this problem. Mom's worse than me because she's had to live it longer, but getting out of the frugal mindset that, you know what? I can't afford a new couch now if I want one. I can't afford a new car if I want one. But my focus is getting my house paid off. We only have $100,000 left, give or take. I don't know, $100 and some odd thousand left on our house.
It's like 100.
100? Yes. Left. That's why we're selling our Dining on a Dime cookbooks for 35% off so we can get our house paid off. And so, that's where my focus is, because I know that once I'm not paying that to the mortgage company, all that money is going to be invested, and then it's going to be working for us. And so even though I can afford those things now, according to the normal American lifestyle, I choose not to do it because I'm looking to the future, and I know that I will reap the rewards more so in the future. So you just have to give yourself a little pep talk, go get some good sleep, have a good cry, and then just start again in the next day, and do it. Barbara, 12 weeks, why wasn't that disclosed when you set up the appointment? Watch them like a hawk. So it's not the contractor that's the problem. It's and we already knew that going into it. It is the Home Depot and the cabinet company and all of them. That's where the delay is. It has nothing to do with my contractor. It's the cabinet company and all them. So, yeah. Teesside or Tara, just use your basement kitchen. Put your dining table downstairs and use it until your kitchen is completed. Yeah, I don't know for sure what we're going to do. We're just going to see how it goes. I don't know what's going to happen with that. At this point, I was sat for an hour and a half today in the kitchen with my notebook, drawing out designs, trying to figure out where to put my silverware drawer. I am stuck right now. The big thing I'm stuck with right now is where to put my silverware drawer.
Darren is on.
Darren! Aw!
And he says, I love your cookbook.
Darren! How are you doing, bud? Darren is our friend in England. We got to meet him when we were there. That was the coolest thing. We love you, Darren.
Yeah, we miss you. We miss you, Darren. That was an awesome time we had with you.
We had a blast with you.
And
we love you.
I think I told you, Ellie and I took your advice to take the train to Paris.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
We credit you for that one.
He showed us around London. He's a big Londoner. And so let's see, what was I talking about?
Darren says, "Love you too."
Let's see. I was talking about something else I can't remember. Oh well. Do we have any advice on those of us who spend more money on organic and grass-fed meats? And somebody else said something about organic meats. Yeah, don't eat them. I mean, it's fine if you choose to spend more money on them, but you are making the choice to spend more money when you buy those. There's no nutritional value that is significantly better. We have talked to chemists. We talked to a chemistry professor from Stanford specifically, and he would not go on camera because he did not want to be bludgeoned to death. But he specifically said that people are going to die from the stress of worrying about those things before any of the chemicals will ever do anything to them. The chemicals in those foods are so minute that it's not even worth the money, the time, and the hassle. And I totally agree with him 100%. I think it has absolutely nothing to do with organic or grass-fed or anything like that. It has to do with people's stress and how they are living their lives, worrying about those things more than it does the food. So my biggest tip is to stop eating those foods. If you choose to do it, it's the same as everything else. Just buy sales and just, do you know a farmer that you can get it for and buy a whole or a half a cow and get a freezer and do it that way? Is it cheaper to do it that way? It's not cheaper to do it that way all the time. I have not found one scenario yet where it's cheaper to go in and get a cow and have it butchered and all that yet. I do have friends who do it all the time because they just prefer to do it that way, and that's fine. But just know that you're choosing to do it that way. And just stop, like if Aldi's has it, Aldi's used to have all those things. And so Aldi would be a good place to get it if you have that. So, yeah. I need a hot toddy. Yes, I do. I am, yeah. So, Joanna, how about someone buying $14 for a bag of grapes because they wanted them, but then complain about not having money for anything? How do you tell them what they are doing is the problem? So are they asking you for advice? If they're asking you for advice, then you just tell them straight out, stop spending $14 on those bag of grapes. That's good grief. That's like 3 dinners at home for a family of 4. You can still cook a family of 4. $5 or less. I mean, you could easily do a lot of meals for $2 to $3 for the entire family. So you can tell them if they're asking advice. If they're not asking advice, I would just keep your mouth shut. But if it's someone you're close to and they complain all the time about this stuff, and you're just like, listen, you may just have to say, you know what? I really appreciate that, you think that you're having money problems, but I notice that you're spending $14 on grapes when that could be 3 dinners for your family. So you are choosing to spend that money. And I would just really appreciate it if you would stop complaining about your finances, because you are making those choices and it's a choice. You are choosing to buy $14 grapes instead of feeding your family dinner for 3 nights. And so you may just have to do that.
Yeah, one of the tricks of saving money is just not to buy things that are ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
Buy other things instead.
Like, I just don't buy grapes unless they're 97 cents to $1.47 now. It used to be I wouldn't buy them if they were 99. I would only buy them if they were 99 cents or less. Now I haven't seen grapes for 99 cents for probably a year. So now it's $1.47 is my target price. But, I just don't do it. But yeah, I don't do that. Bounty in the Badlands, buying a half beef direct from a producer will save you dollars. Actually, it doesn't. I have done the math. every single time. And by the time you pay for the cow and pay to have it cut up and butchered, over all of the meat, the average price for the meat, it is actually still more expensive, unless it's just your cow. I mean, if it's your cow that you raised yourself, it might be cheaper. But to buy a cow and then have the cow processed, it is actually more expensive. Tanya says she's excited and hope we do a live stream when we get our house paid off. Yeah. We're hoping we can get it paid off by April. I don't know, honey. Can we do March? No, I don't know. March is pushing it. I would say
I was predicting June, but we've been paying it off a lot faster.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot faster, a little faster than I thought.
So we were expecting to pay it off in June. We're paying it off quicker because we're having more sales on our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being selfish giving you guys these sales also because I want to get my house paid off. And one of the ways that I pay off my house is by earning more money. And how do we earn more money? We sell our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. So if I give you a good deal, you're getting something you want, and I get something I want, and we are all happy.
Win, win, win.
It's a win-win for everybody. So, yeah, I mean,
Darren wants to know if we have the app Too Good to Go.
No, I don't know. I don't use apps, so I don't know.
I've never heard of that one, Darren.
What is it?
Yeah, tell us what it is.
I don't know.
It's funny because there were some apps we learned about in the UK, like City Mapper. That was the most fabulous one that we found to get around London.
Yeah. Oh, Kimmy, she's in her apron. Hello. Oh, is today a sad day for you? I think today might be the day that it's a sad day for you. If so, go have a good cry and bolster yourself up.
And call Tara.
After you're done.
After she has her cup of tea.
Yeah, after I have my cup of tea, I'm losing my voice, I think. Marilyn says, Darren, I just found it in the Google Play Store. She said, oh, Kimmy said, no, today we found out we have him longer. Oh, yay. Their son was getting ready to be shipped out for Army, I think. And so she gets him. I think he was supposed to go today. So she said he has a few more days. So that's great. Yay. Yeah, I was waiting to see if Darren says what the app is, but I don't use apps very much. I need to get more apps on my phone, I guess, but I can't even use my phone as it is.
Did you start telling some sort of story about silverware placement?
Oh, my silverware. Yeah. Okay, so I forgot the silverware. So while Darren's getting that on there, I'll tell you. Okay, so I can't figure out where to put my silverware. So we decided to go ahead and keep the second sink, except make it just a bar sink in my island. And so if I do that, then I lose a whole set of drawers. And I was going to put the silverware in that bar sink, where the bar sink's going to go. And I was going to put it in the island. But because you guys know my irritation, I love my family, but it drives me batty when I'm in the kitchen. And this is actually a breakdown of the family. It really is. No, this is a breakdown of the American family. When you think about it, when our grandmas and moms were in the kitchen cooking, Mom and Grandma was in the kitchen cooking. Everybody else kept their behinds out of there. She cooked dinner, and that was it. People weren't coming in. They weren't making stuff in the microwave. They weren't making whatever. And so it absolutely drives me nuts that while I'm cooking dinner or whatever, people are getting in the silverware drawer, which right now is under my stovetop, or they're getting in the microwave, which is also above my stovetop, and they're just pushing to the side. I'm like, at least say, excuse me. I have not taught my family manners, but that's one of my big failures. But it drives me nuts when I'm sitting here cooking and focusing and stuff is popping and I'm trying to get lids on stuff or whatever. And somebody's like, well, can I get a spoon? And I'm like, okay. So I was trying to get the microwave and the silverware drawer out of the way of where I cook or do dishes. And so now we're down to, if we keep the sink in the bar, I won't be able to put it in the island bar, whatever you want to call it, in the island. I won't be able to keep the silverware in the island. I could possibly put it underneath. If I use my big 60-inch old-fashioned vintage sink, I could put it as one of the drawers holding up the sink, but then that would still be right next to me doing dishes. And I don't know if that would still be in the way. Today I had thought about just getting 3 containers and just putting the forks, knives, and spoons on the counter out of the way of me, just doing it that way. That's my big hang up right now for the rest of the kitchen. The corner, I got to wait for the contractor to figure out how he can maneuver that. But everything else, I think I figured out the placement except for the silverware today. And so, D. Parker, my mom kept silverware in big drawers, in jars, not drawers, jars. She was a caterer. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't I just keep the silverware in jars on the counter? I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that's a good idea or not? I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Thank you, Miss Herschel. I'm the same. When I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm like, get out. Me too. It drives me nuts. Now Mike has been doing much better since I've been griping and complaining.
Actually, Tara would prefer that we would all just leave. Just let her have the house all by herself.
Oh, good grief. I would miss you.
I was telling the boys I should take them on a trip overseas and leave you alone for 3 weeks.
That's true. Well, my problem is with COVID, everybody's home since that thing going around started. When everybody was at school or Mike would go work at the library. And so now I don't have very many days where I'm home by myself. And so me being interrupted, I'm an introvert in the first place. And then I hate getting interrupted when I'm working on something, even if it's something like just unloading the dishwasher. It just blows me off the track to have people talking to me while I'm doing that. And so I like having uninterrupted hours where I can just get stuff done. And so now I would miss you, dear. There are certain perks that I would miss having you around.
Like washing dishes?
Do other things too. But,
Just Vicky says, oh, Mike, tell Tara to say that again. I would miss you, Mike.
I would miss you, dear.
Aw.
But would you mind going to the library?
Believe me, actually, I love to go away just as much as she loves me to go away. Because she wants to be alone and I want to be around people. So
yeah,
works win-win.
So it's win-win for everybody. But
woohoo! Late night edition, Tara.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm working it. Guys, I don't know. Let's see. We're doing a show. We're gonna do a show on Monday. Maybe we should go live while they're tearing down the kitchen. They're supposed to be tearing the kitchen on Monday.
They might feel intimidated.
Do we go live while they're tearing down the kitchen on Monday? Oh, my.
Darren says, what about a small island on wheels for the silverware? Is that something you put on the countertop? Or just like an actual...
that might work. I don't know. That's a good idea. I don't know. It's the dumbest thing. But, guys, it's those little things that are the biggest irritations. I know. I'm sorry. But what's dumb is I only use like 50% of my cabinets in my and drawers in my kitchen because it's arranged so bad. So I'm trying to really make sure that it's efficient and will work well for us. So
Felina says, do it. Pay off the house faster. Like going live while they tear it down.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people are all about the going live.
I don't know. I still want to take a chainsaw to it.
Demo day video.
I think I should take a chainsaw to it. But needless to say, I'm starting to have a moment of panic because I'm supposed to be cooking all this food tomorrow while we still have an oven left After tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to have an oven for at least 6 weeks. If they can just temporarily put in the new oven and I can use it, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know.
Everybody's looking forward to that show. Oh, and also a lot of people are relating to you on the wanting to be alone sometimes.
It's not that I don't love my family. I love my family.
But mom and dad can hardly wait for school to start again.
What's so hilarious is at Jack's Christmas concert. So that's like my theme with the kids. You know, do I need to pay for counseling or something for them? Maybe. I don't know. But what's funny is whenever I would pick them up for Christmas break or the last day of school, I would always sing, and mom and dad can hardly wait for school to start again. They'd been out 5 minutes and I was already singing that.
It was usually somewhere in line with the first controversy.
Yeah, with the first moment when the kids were fighting is when I would do it usually. And so it's funny though, is at Jack's Christmas concert, they were singing that song and none of the kids could hardly remember any of the words. But when Jack came to, mom and dad can hardly wait, he just started laughing because he knew, oh, I know this part.
And you could see the look come over his face that he suddenly realized, oh, this is that part that mom always sings.
It was funny watching him because you just could see that he just knew it.
Oh, yeah. Rebecca says, buy a toaster oven from the thrift store. Darren says use the air fryer. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Here's the thing. I'm really not worried about it. I have an air fryer. I have 2 toaster ovens. I got to sell one. I got 2 toaster ovens. I got an air fryer. I got a rice cooker. I have a halogen cooker. I have, I don't have a bread maker, which, you know, I don't need to make bread, but, so I have everything to cook without a kitchen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a couple of videos of cooking when you don't have a kitchen, of how to make cookies in a toaster oven and stuff like that and all that. So my biggest thing, you know what I think the biggest irritation is going to be? Is having everything in boxes and I don't have my baking center and I don't have my stovetop center and I don't have the dishes all in one place. That's going to be the hardest part, is digging through. And I'm going to simplify and have like one box. Like everybody's getting one plate. Everybody's getting one bowl. And that's all we're having. I'm giving everybody 2 pieces of silverware and that's it. And so Mike's over here like,
no, I don't care. Give me plastic silverware.
And so like, I'm going to I would love to be a minimalist in the kitchen, honestly. I really would, because I think I do it more for videos and stuff like that. I have so many dishes and pans and stuff like that because of people comment more on it. But if it was just me personally, I would probably get rid of 75% of the stuff that's in the kitchen. I would get rid of the dishwasher. I don't like unloading the dishwasher. I would rather wash my dishes by hand and put them up right away than to do I hate unloading the dishwasher.
When I was single, I had 1 plate and 1 bowl.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking if everybody just had 1 plate and 1 bowl and they all just wash their own plate, wash their own bowl and put it up, I think our dishes would be so much simpler, honestly. Like, I would lie to you, but you know what I mean.
I just think that when you say, oh, where's that thing in the box? You can just take it, have a warm space in your heart where you're saying, I'm having to look for this thing in the box because I'm going to have an awesome kitchen when this is all done.
Yeah. I don't want you guys to think I'm complaining. I'm not complaining because I am thinking that it's going to be really great when it's done. It's more frustration because I've been working on these kitchen plans for 3 months. 3 months I've been trying to work on kitchen plans. I hired a kitchen designer. He did them for me. I love the plans. But after we started measuring and getting the actual measurements in, because he just did a placement of kind of what I had, not actual measurements. So Mark Tobin Kitchen Design, guys, go check him out on YouTube. I love him. And his designs were great. But I realized that there was some measurement issues that, and that's totally my fault. It had nothing to do with him. but I couldn't open doors because something was blocking the way or something like that. So I had to rearrange. And that's where the problem's coming in. So I went yesterday and talked to a kitchen designer here in town at the cabinet store. And I honestly thought I would have it all nailed down. I thought, okay, I'm going in. She's going to tell me what to do. And she's like, well, yeah, but until your contractor can tell you if you can do this with this cabinet, it's going to matter what cabinet goes here and goes here. And then I was like, and then it's going to matter if you can move the stove down or not move the stove down. So really, I was just all excited that I was going to have it all nailed down yesterday. And I didn't. And it was really frustrating. I spent, I left at 8:00. I didn't get home till 12:30, going to 3 places to get help and figure out what to do with the cabinets and the countertops and all of that, and the window. Now, the only good thing is as I was talking to her, she didn't come up with it. I actually came up with it. But as I was talking to her, I fixed one problem with the plates and the dishes that I hadn't resolved yet. And so I was able to come up with that. And then yesterday at the eye doctor, I found somebody to install the window. So I was excited about that. And the window, I thought the window was going to cost like $5,000. And it's only going to cost like $1,500, I think, at the high end. It may even be just like $1,000. So I was super excited about that. So some of the cost on some of the things were a lot less, but then other things like the whole corner issue, it was going to be $1,500 for just a Lazy Susan top cabinet. $1,500. I'm like, I think I'll go to the Restore and check out and see what they have, because I'm thinking that's kind of ridiculous. But I don't know. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm not really complaining. It's just that, you know how it is when you get started with these things. And I hadn't quite expected everything to start imploding even before they I mean, I lived in a house for 20 years that was being remodeled, so I totally get the whole remodeling thing. But I just hadn't expected things to start imploding before they even tore it apart. So,
well, in some ways, years ago, I got super excited about some movie that was coming out, and I talked about it all the time, day and night, for months and months. And when the movie finally came, I thought, I hate this movie. And I realized part of the issue was I just set my expectations too high. Yeah. And I think part of what we were trying to do ahead of time is just say, because I told Tara yesterday, just so you know, I estimated that the budget was going to be more than they told us, so that if it is, we're not shocked.
And they were telling us $20,000 without appliances and without cabinets.
Well, they told us that their labor would be 10 to 15.
But I mean, for the parts and the labor for the cabinets and stuff, it was going to be $20,000 without new cabinets and without appliances.
And we've never paid for anyone to do this kind of work before. We used to do all of our own.
I'll be curious to see what it ends up costing.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm a little afraid.
I think the idea is to try to imagine that we're going to be without it longer than we actually are without it. And then we'll say, oh, this is great. Yeah, that remains to be seen, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting adventure, to say the least. But
T-Sider, did you see T-Sider said, I realized I needed to sort out what was bugging me. Spent a day noting everything that didn't work. My lovely nephew came and did a snag list and bought a new kitchen bin and other things.
Good. Yeah, guys, here's the thing. Most of life's irritations are just because you're not fixing the little irritations in life. Like all your receipts. Don't just dump them on the counter. Get yourself an envelope to put all of your receipts in. And then your receipts are nice and neat. That's the thing that's bugging me right now, because I haven't got to deal with all of my paperwork and all that, because I've been dealing with the kitchen stuff and everything. So just go in and deal with those little irritations. You may not even have to buy anything. You may, like right now, I'm using, Mike likes these convenience cups, the 32-ounce convenience cups with the plastic lids. He loves those things. But the plastic lids were falling everywhere. So what did I do? I got a bread pan and I put all the plastic lids in a bread pan in my cabinet. Super easy. So his plastic cups, he's got like 10 or 12 of them. Well, if we weren't remodeling the kitchen, what I would do to take care of that irritation is get rid of all of them and store them away somewhere, because he likes particular ones. And so when they break, he likes to replace them. And that's fine. But store them somewhere else and just keep 2 in the cabinet. That's how, just take care of those little irritations. And oh my goodness, it would be great if you could do that. And guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, volume 2, 25% off.
35%.
Right, or 35% off right now. I'm going to answer one last question here, and it is from Ryan. And it says, we are on a tight budget and deep in debt with our house payments. What are some things you recommend doing to get the money to pay it off? Every single item you can buy used. All of your clothes, all of your shoes. I would even go down to underwear and socks. I know that may seem close, but there's this thing called bleach that you can use on those things. If you don't want to do adult underwear and socks, or adult underwear, then I would just get your new adult underwear. But you can get shoes used, you can get socks used, you can get all your clothes used, any appliances, anything for the house used. Stop buying anything that's just not absolutely necessary, and cut your grocery bills. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys. And listen, if you can't afford the cookbooks, we have around 1,800 videos on our YouTube channel for free. We have over 1,500 recipes and articles on our website for free. Our Dining on a Dime cookbook is 35% off right now, but you don't have to buy it to save money with our tips. You can go look and read and learn all of those things. Do not buy a new car. If you have a car payment, sell that car immediately and go get a $3,000 to $4,000 car. Stop eating out. Stop all of the entertainment. You do not do any entertainment you have to pay for unless it's free. Yes, did you have something?
No, I was just going to say, on some of those things, people struggle with thinking, well, what if I can't go to the movies every week, or what if I can't? The thing is, it's only temporary until you knock out a big chunk of your debt.
Yep. And let's see, what else do we do?
You could also make more money.
We don't eat out. We don't go to movies. You may have to get a second or third job.
Or do something.
Sell some things. Anything you can sell it. Get rid of it. If you can sell it, get rid of it. Like somehow, I have no idea how. I honestly don't. We are not collectors of TVs. But somehow, when we moved to this house, we ended up with 3 more TVs than we actually use. I'm like, where did these TVs come from? I don't even know where these TVs came from. So we're going to be selling some of those, and we don't have to. I'm just doing it to declutter. But get rid of anything you can. Do all the repairs that you can yourself on your car, on your house. Watch YouTube videos. Learn how to do it. Mike's fixing our dishwasher just broke. And he's going to be fixing that himself just in time for them to tear it out for the kitchen.
Well, and the thing I learned is some things, like I used to do all the work on the cars, but I just was so frustrated with it. And it was the one thing that I found that is worth having somebody do, particularly when we got a little bit more money to be able to do that. But some things, like for me, that dishwasher fix, I had to Google it. It's like a 2-minute fix, and the part's like $7 on the internet.
And we saved ourselves $600 on a dishwasher.
I could pay, or $600 on a dishwasher, or we could pay somebody $100 an hour to come fix it. So there are things like light switches and plugs and light fixtures. If we had something that just failed, we wouldn't replace it unless it failed when we were super desperate to get our debt paid off. But if it failed, instead of paying somebody a lot to come in and fix it, I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
And so they're just different things that if you can learn to do, most of those things that people get paid $100 or $200 an hour to come fix at your house, most of those things you can fix pretty easily for like $10 or less, and watching some YouTube videos.
Yep.
So that's we did all of our own stuff.
Yeah. Cut the cable. Guys, cable is one of the biggest wastes of money. Cut all the subscriptions. You don't need Netflix. You don't need anything. All this, you can watch entertaining shows on YouTube all the time. For free. Cut all the subscriptions to everything.
Do you have a show you recommend on YouTube?
You can watch Living on a Dime. And I'll tell you, if you want me to do a video on you, who was that, Ryan? Send me your list of everything you're spending money on, and I'll tell you how you can cut it. I'd love to do a video on that. There are people that have sent me their budgets before, and they're like, I just can't cut one single thing. And one lady, she paid me $200 an hour. I charge $200 to do budget counseling. And she paid me $200 an hour. And in that 1 hour, I saved her $2,500 in 1 hour looking at her budget where she could not cut anything else. And she emailed me later that month and said, Tara, thank you so much. Not only the $2,500 did you save me, but I found so many more things that I could cut on there. Another thing is, don't be getting more pets. There are people who will have 3, 4, 5, 6 pets. If my editor is watching this later, just ignore this comment. He's got 3 dogs. But, they keep getting pets and they can't afford them. Pets are really expensive. And so don't keep getting more pets or animals. And if they die, don't replace them until you can financially be settled again. So all of those kinds of things. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. But it really adds up. But editor@livingonadime.com. Ryan, if you want to send me your budget, I'll do it for free for you. If I can do a video on it, won't show any of your personal information. But, people really don't realize how much they can cut out of their budget that they can cut and live to tell about it. So anyway, yeah. So 35% off, guys. Dining on a Dime cookbooks right now. This is volume 1. Volume 2 fell on the floor, but it's blue. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, all 35% off right now. Our planners, our yearly planners, almost 400 pages, 366 days in here, guys, for you. This is not on sale, but we do have them in stock for everyone who's been asking for them. They were out of stock for so long, but these are our undated planners. Everybody's absolutely loving them. I know I need to get that video done showing everything. There's a video on there, although showing the 2022 edition. It's just not the undated, but it's the same planner. So it's on the sales page for you. So anyway, please visit us at livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time.